we implemented, the same approach as Lido, for ETH and staking ETH. So as Lido on Ledgity Yield protocol, you just have to deposit USDC, you get LUSDC, and as soon as you have your LUSDC in your wallet, you start generating your yield in LUSDC.
Oh, what is going on, Ada Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central. My name is Fareed, and as a part of today's video, I have the honor of interviewing Pierre-Yves, the CEO and founder of the Ledgity Protocol. Pierre, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing very well, thank you, and thank you very much for this interview.
Not a problem. I'm excited to have you here. Ledgity has been doing a lot within the last couple of months, and I want to basically bring that to my community here, focusing on blockchain and crypto. So let's just go ahead and just dive right on into today's interview, which is again going to be focusing on Ledgity and its protocol. Do you, number one, mind just giving us a little bit of your experience, Pierre? And then number two, breaking down what Ledgity is and what products it has to offer?
Yeah, sure. So, as you said, I'm Pierre, the founder and the CEO of Ledgity, and I have a background in traditional finance. So, I worked 14 years in the private banking and asset management industry. So, I have a very deep understanding about how our financial system works. And since 2017, I deep dive, in the crypto space and blockchain technology, and I decided to create Ledgity in order to leverage, the financial industry with this innovation that comes with blockchain technology, crypto, and so on, and in order to build, let's say, the future of finance. So to try to visualize what will be our financial industry in the next 10 to 15 years. And it's exactly what we are doing with Ledgity. So Ledgity, it's a fintech based in France. We are regulated by the French Financial Market Authority as a digital asset service provider. And what we are doing is ready to, first of all, through Ledgity Crypto Wealth App, our first product, is a mobile application where users can, buy, sell, and store their crypto. In order to democratize this new investment asset class, but in a traditional context of wealth management. So we have a unique, let's say, positioning because our goal is to promote, let's say, crypto assets through a network of independent financial advisors. So our product integrates, an interface for the users, for the clients, but also an interface, a professional interface for the independent financial advisors in order to help them, to manage, some administrative and regulatory tasks. But the unique also positioning that on top of, providing an easy access to crypto, we also integrate some wealth management functionalities for the users, like, account aggregation. So in Ledgity Wealth App, you can, on the top of buy, sell, and store crypto, but you can also consolidate all your wealth through the app. So you can connect your bank account, your equity account, your life insurance, investment in real estate, or whatever. So you have a real dashboard of your wealth, including crypto. And for us, in that way, it's a way to democratize crypto because we bring crypto in the traditional finance. And the second product we are very excited to talk about also, we launched it 2 weeks ago. It's a yield protocol on stablecoin backed by real world assets. So in other words, it's to provide a real, stable, and high efficient treasury management solution for the Web3 industry. And the goal is, to bring my, 14 years experience as fund manager in the past, and with a, understanding about how blockchain and how, crypto works together to provide this yield protocol on stablecoin for the Web3 industry.
Thank you for the quick introduction as to the two protocols or two platforms that Ledgity is building. As a recap, number one, I believe, is going to be the crypto wealth management application, which is built obviously for institutional adoption, you could say, right? You guys are reaching out for advisors and clients. And then you just mentioned the Stableyield for stablecoins application, which was just released very recently. So as you mentioned, that will be the focus here for today's video. Now, with respect to the Stableyield for stablecoins, do you mind touching on what this does with respect to benefits for end users? Obviously, there's a lot of protocols that talk about providing, yield, and a lot of that can be obfuscated through different means. But how are you guys through Ledgity able to do this in a way that is stable and secure?
Yeah, it's a very good question. First of all, it's not something that we developed, for in just 1 or 2 months. It's something we are working on since years, but it was not possible 2 years ago. Mainly because if you look at the traditional finance, the fixed income market we had 2 years ago was not the same that today. So the yield was were very low. But today, we have a complete different context where we have, again, an attractive yield. If you look on T-bills, but also on bonds, investment grade bonds or high yield bonds. So you have many yields opportunity in traditional finance. But again, since 1 year, let's say. So the goal is really to bring this yield opportunity we have in traditional finance, so through bonds only, to stablecoin token holders through our protocol. So the protocol, handle, all the complexity about, to off ramp stablecoin, to invest this capital in a diversified portfolio of bonds, and vice versa. So to on ramp as well in order to get back the fund to our user when the user want to withdraw. But also on the legal side, on the regulatory side, I think we also innovate because the difference, if you compare to other projects, working on a real world asset, is that for our users, it's not a security token. It's still a digital asset because the legal framework we define with our lawyers and with the regulator in France is we remain in a digital asset environment for the user. So it's very important because it's very important in terms of distribution of these products. And also it's very also important, for example, in terms of taxes for users. So for the users, it's still a digital asset, a crypto, but they can benefit from the stability and from the from the stability from real world assets, because real world assets are not going anywhere. They are, the capital is segregated in a bank account in Europe. And the capital is diversified through, a portfolio of bonds in order to provide a better risk-adjusted return than just, for example, tokenizing T-bills, which is a very great solution. But our goal is really to, in a certain way, to provide a dynamic bonds, allocation to stablecoin token to optimize, all the time the yield for users.
So looking at your platform, I see a beta. Let's say that I am an end user and I'm interested in what Ledgity Yield has to offer. Walk me through the process of actually taking my funds, adding them to the protocol, and then how I can then manage and then claim my potential yield earned by these RWAs or real world assets.
Yeah. So we implemented, the same approach as Lido, for ETH and staking ETH. So as Lido on Ledgity Yield protocol, you just have to deposit USDC, you get LUSDC, and as soon as you have your LUSDC in your wallet, you start generating your yield in LUSDC. And at any time, you can withdraw your LUSDC for USDC 1 for 1. And for the withdraw function, what we implemented is that, because we need to manage also the liquidity, because when you deposit USDC on our side, we off ramp this USDC in fiat currency, in USD. We deposit this USD in a bank account, and we invest this capital in a diversified portfolio of bonds. But when you withdraw, we need to do the opposite, to give back the fund to our users. So what we developed is that we keep 5% of the TVL, in the smart contract, let's say. So up to 5% of the TVL you can withdraw instantly. So we will have a lot of economy of scale as soon as we grow the TVL, because if we have 100 million of TVL, you have 5 million of liquidity to withdraw instantly. So for most of our users, it will be very efficient. And if you exceed this 5%, for example, if you are a very big investors and you want to withdraw more than 5%, your request is we put your request in a queue, and on our side we process this request, but it can take 2 to 3 business days in order to offer to sell some bonds, to convert these bonds, the cash in USDC, and give back the USDC to the users.
Awesome. I appreciate you breaking that down. And I had not realized that you guys already had a beta app. So that's going to
Yeah.
take me into the next portion of this interview. Where are you guys? Obviously, again, you have a beta app, so you're not in the early stages. But where are you guys in the roadmap? And when can we expect the final application or the non-beta to go live?
Yeah. So to be honest, we put beta because we just launched it, but the beta is already the final product. So we will make some improvement on different things. We will create new vaults and so on. But the product is live, and it's the final product. We put beta because we just launched it, so we do not have a lot of TVL first. So it's the main reason. As soon as we reach 5 to 10 million of TVL, we will. We can say that the product is not in beta.
Got it. Got it. So you guys are at the very early stage of adoption, which is where the beta comes from, not necessarily the fact that the application itself is in quote unquote a beta phase. I appreciate the clarification about that. Now, there's something that I'm looking at here on your website, which is actually some of the partners. So one that I definitely recognize and that I cover on my channel quite often is going to be Genius X, which is going to be an accelerator program building on Cardano. And that's actually how I initially got introduced to Ledgity, was through the Genius X accelerator program. So that said, I see other networks here which are outside of the Cardano ecosystem. Those include Arbitrum, and I think the founders DAO and Circle as well, right? Do you
Yeah.
mind touching on where the Ledgity Yield protocol is currently supported? I also saw that on the other page that I was showing earlier, that you guys are aiming to be a cross-chain or a multi-chain protocol. So where are you guys currently supported, and when can we expect for this protocol to also support the Cardano community?
Yeah, exactly. It's a very good question. So, indeed, we launched the protocol on Arbitrum first, not mainly because of lack of fiat-backed stablecoin for the moment on Cardano. So we are monitoring this development on Cardano very closely, and the goal is, as soon as we have enough, let's say, liquidity of fiat-backed stablecoin on Cardano, we will launch also our protocol on Cardano, because we think that treasury management solution for the Web3 industry, it's mandatory for a healthy development of the DeFi, because it's like in the banking industry, everyone needs to have some cash deposited in secure let's say yield program, for short term liquidity, and you can have more long term and more volatile investment for on the other part. So for us, it's exactly the same in DeFi. So that's why we 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 believe that a yield protocol on stablecoin is a core product for the DeFi tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you for that. And I do appreciate the clarity surrounding why you guys aren't on Cardano yet. But again, it's not of your own choosing. It's because the actual network doesn't have support for a fiat-backed stablecoin. Now, one that I'm sure that you've probably heard about, which is on the cusp of launching, is going to be Mahen, which is going to be, I believe, releasing their USDM token.
Yeah.
And so I believe that they're going to be fiat backed, and I would hope to see some sort of collaboration or integration into the Ledgity protocol once they go live. Have you maybe spoken out to them? And if not, who else are you potentially looking at when it comes to launching the protocol on Cardano?
We started really recently, a discussion with USDM, with the team behind. So we're in discussion because the other part is what is very important for us, because the process, behind in order to offer, let's say, a simple solution for your stablecoin, it's not very simple, for us, in terms of process. So we really need an efficient also, on and off ramp with our partner, stablecoin partners. So it's exactly what we are waiting from USDM to check with them if it's easy for us to on and off ramp this fiat-backed stablecoin with their solution.
Got it. So again, I'll be keeping my eyes out for a potential partnership and integration into Cardano. One thing that we have to touch on is going to be the LDY token, right? Or the Ledgity token. So Pierre, do you mind explaining what the Ledgity token is, its purpose, and its benefit for the community?
Yeah, sure. So Ledgity token, it's at the core of the Ledgity ecosystem. So our goal is really to provide as much, utilities as possible. So to bring value for the community. So we launched, at the beginning of the project, LDY token, but due to the launch of this new protocol, we had to upgrade, our tokens in order to make it compatible with this new protocol and the new utility functions we will integrate to the token. So that the main reason why we started, this, let's say, this swap, the automatic swap. So maybe also I would like to clarify for the for the users who participate to the multi-ESPO campaign of Genius 6, we had to stop right now, the distribution of LTY just to wait the launch of LDY, so the upgrade of the token, that should be done by the end of October. So, it's in 1 month or something like that. Just for because it's a complex task to do, and we have a lot of things to do. So I want to clarify that the distribution will start again, at the end of October with the new LDY token. And the second thing is that for the current, LTY, so the current LTY token holder, they will be able to convert, to swap their LTY for the new LDY directly on Ledgity.finance. They will have a dedicated page in order to do this swap, this conversion.
Thank you for that. So just to make sure that I understand, for anybody who participated as a part of the multi-token IPO done by Genius X, the distribution has at this point stopped, right? But that will recommence with the LDY token. And for anybody who's already received the LTY token, they'll have the ability to actually migrate to the new token using the Ledgity Yield platform. So again, I think during these times, especially as early adopters, we understand that things change. I think there's a few other tokens on Cardano also undergoing migrations. I know Meld did a migration, the MusiSwap team did a migration, and every team has different reasons why. Some tokens not launched initially and they were not divisible, right? And so therefore, when they want to upgrade, they want to make it divisible, and they have to basically migrate everybody's tokens over. So again, I don't think that anybody is faulting you, but I think that because we're in an ecosystem, at least early on, we somewhat expect for these changes to occur. And I do appreciate the transparency and the actual heads up that you guys are giving to the community to prepare for the actual migration. Now, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just another clarification about the launch of the LDY. So we launch our LDY, we will launch on Arbitrum, and we will immediately bridge part of the supply on Cardano through Chainport, and we will list LDY on Arbitrum, but also on Cardano and probably on MinSwap, just after the launch.
Got it. Got it. So I've got one more thing I want to just quickly jump into, because I know we talked about the token itself, but I'm not sure that we hit on some of these pieces here. So do you maybe want to touch, on the use and burn, the DAO, the reduced fees and exclusivity, or does this no longer apply given the transition of the token?
No, it's applied, but for the crypto wealth app. These functionalities, are still in place. But what we added is some, utility functions for our Ledgity Yield protocol. And there is a different, advantages for LDY token holder. So first of all, is that share of protocol growth. So by staking your LDY token, you will indirectly receive a share of protocol growth and activities in the form of staking rewards. First of all, the second is that we will launch a lot of innovation, around this yield protocol. And for example, we will launch some L boost, let's say L boost. It's kind of it's type of incentive vault on top of for example LUSDC token, in order to boost a little bit your yield. So you will have your basic yield based on real world assets, and we will increase this yield through with our token. And by staking the LDY token, you unlock access to this L boost. We will also launch some leverage vaults. So we are currently at the early discussion with some lending protocol in order to recreate what we have in traditional finance, meaning that if you have a stable yield protocol backed by real world assets, so you can make your LUSDC eligible as collateral in a lending protocol and borrow some USDC against your collateral and deposit again USDC in the protocol. And by this way, if you borrow, for example, at 3% and you can invest at 7%, you earn the difference. And so we will create some leverage vault that automatize this process, to loop this the operation. And you will access to this leverage vault only by staking your token. Also in the protocol right now, when you withdraw, you have 0.3% of fees. If you stake a token, you will have zero fees. And as I said at the beginning, when you have a big request, a big withdrawal, you are in the queue, and we will process, the queue by priority, or by in the order. But if you stake token, LDY token, you will have a priority, in the queue. So you will see your withdraw process, quicker.
Got it.
Faster.
Thank you for that. And when you mentioned the leverage vaults, my eyes kind of opened up. I think in this space, people are always looking for new opportunities and new ways to use protocols. And I think that's one that people have to keep in mind with any sort of yield generating platform, is that, if the token has enough utility, people will do exactly what you just said there, which is use, their position to kind of leverage and potentially earn more, right? So interesting use case there for Ledgity. The very last thing I want to go ahead and just ask you, Pierre, is, with respect to Ledgity, both the wealth management application as well as the Stableyield platform, where do you see yourself in the next year, 5 years, et cetera? And what additional enhancements can we expect to be coming on both of the platforms?
Yeah. So first of all, with this yield protocol, we have a big ambition, because we believe that we, in the next, 3 to 5 years, we can, build a leading yield protocol on stablecoin, like, Lido now for liquid staking, for example, because right now in the industry, you do not have many players, combining the expertise we have, because you need expertise in traditional finance, but also in crypto industry and blockchain. So we have a huge potential for that. And also because now you don't have a lot of solutions. We had last year like a Genesis or this kind of solution, but it's not no longer the case. So we believe that, for example, in the next 3 years, our goal is to reach 1 billion of TVL in our protocol. If you look at the global market, we have 120 billion of stablecoins globally in the market. So it's not something very crazy. We can, get small part of this market. And on the traditional finance side, with our crypto wealth app, the goal is really to continue to democratize crypto and to bring the innovation we have from in the DeFi and so on in the traditional finance. And for example, our yield protocol is also distributed through our Ledgity wealth app for users, who are not familiar with, MetaMask or wallet or whatever. So to provide them an easy way for everyone to invest in crypto, on volatile crypto like Bitcoin, ADA, whatever, but also for people who don't want to take a lot of risk, to keep their stablecoin, but to put their stablecoin at work with our yield protocol.
Really exciting stuff to hear there about how you guys are planning to interconnect both of the platforms, right? And I think to that effect, if one of them does well, right, it gives exposure to the other. So, for example, if the stable yields take off and people need ways to easily get in and out of that, they can then use the wealth management application, and vice versa. If the management application is adopted, well, you can then begin to offer the stable yield from within the actual wealth management application. So, really smart move there. I really like the approach you guys are taking to that. And then one other thing you mentioned is that, you guys are in a very early stage, and it shows, right? A lot of people are still trying to understand, and a lot of people that are in the space are here because they truly do understand, and they're also early adopters. So I think as more time goes on, you guys will get more exposure. And as we just discussed earlier, with more stable coins coming online, not only in Cardano, but just in crypto in general, that'll give you guys more avenues to have more listings, and therefore bring in more TVL and liquidity to the Ledgity Yield protocol. Pierre, any closing thoughts that you want to share with the community here before we wrap this up?
Yeah, we are very, excited to see on Cardano, fiat backed stablecoin to be able to launch also our protocol on Cardano, because if you look right now, on this narrative of, around real world assets, this narrative is booming, because Binance, published a research, a few days ago, a few weeks ago, that this market could reach, 16 trillion by 2030. And also, if you look at DeFi Llama, in the last 2 months, real world asset market, has risen from the 13th place to the 8th place, I think, among, DeFi Llama largest markets. So it's a narrative that's booming. So we want to surf, the wave, because it's something that we are working for several years, and I think it's the best moment, best market timing right now for launching this kind of protocol.
I couldn't agree with you more. For anybody who's still listening here, I think that will be the next wave, right? We've already seen the wave of just regular assets. Then it was NFTs, then DeFi, and I think RWAs, or real world assets, are going to be next. And so again, I think you guys are well positioned to get a lot of that market share when the liquidity and the interest comes back into crypto as we edge closer to the next bull market. Ladies and gentlemen, Pierre Yves, representing the Ledgity Yield protocol. Again, if you guys have any questions, or if you guys want to find out more about what Ledgity Yield is bringing to the crypto ecosystem, check out the links down below in today's video description. If you guys have any questions for myself or Pierre, make sure to go ahead and leave those down in the comments. And if you guys are just interested in just getting connected with the Ledgity team, I'll go ahead and leave the link to all of their socials down below as well. Again, thank you, Pierre, for your time, and I look forward to catching you on the next one.